This afternoon, I got to PAXU and got to schmooze with some developers. Let's meet some of the cast of characters, shall we?
Hi, how's it going? So here I'm showing off Dungeons & Co. It is the upcoming game from BRW Games. We launched it on Kickstarter yesterday, December 1st. It is a dungeon contracting game where you have been hired by the evil Empress Hornspike to build her most lethal, stylish dungeon possible. The issue being she's a bit of a procrastinator, so we already have some lower level adventurers coming through to raid her power gems. So you gotta build it strong enough to kill those early game low level adventurers, but leave enough room in there so you can hire those end game monsters to deal with the heroes that come at the end. So it's kind of like a PvP tower defense with a puzzler, because once you install something in your dungeon, that space is taken up permanently, and you have to kind of like manage space as a resource, not just gold. We have this one on Kickstarter. It's not available for purchase yet. However, this one's available on our website now.
When will the Kickstarter end?
The Kickstarter will end at the end of December this current month. We only have 30 days to hit our minimum funding goal, and we're only a fifth of the way there. So if this sounds like the kind of game you want to play with your friends come July 2023, back us before the December 31st comes, and you'll see Dungeons & Co. get made and get shipped.
I'm guessing that you're just steering directly into the absurdity of this whole thing.
We are a comedy and laugh first, think later type of game company. We think that if we can get you laughing while also appreciating the game design, that's that sweet spot. Games are to be fun. We love strategic elements. We make our stuff as layered and as depthful as possible while still being accessible. And our art and our character designs are humor first, as you can see with things like Swordfish.
So we have a meta party game called Scrolls of Chaos. Okay. It is made to be played alongside of a quest. That quest could be me explaining the rules of my game to you and getting to know you a little bit. Okay. Or it could be another game. So you could dust off your favorite party game that got boring after you played it too many times. Or you could play it with a strategy game. Or you could summon demons in your mom's basement. We don't really care, though we don't recommend the last one. This game is going to get you to do ridiculous things and laugh with your friends, right? So you would get a set of tasks, just cards like this. Okay. They'll have a task on it, something you need to do and a way you can fail. So it might be confess your undying love of the band Nickelback to the group, and you fail if anybody else also says that they love Nickelback. Or you might announce that you're 85% sure you were Jesus in a past life, or sit on the ground, or try to lick your elbow without anybody noticing. So you're just gonna have a set of hilarious things to do. You score points by completing scrolls. You lose points if you have too many cards in your hand, and that's the game. And it just is passive in the background. There's no turn order, it's just real time, and you're just completing scrolls and announcing when you succeed or when you fail and getting each other to laugh.
So pandemic was not very fun for a lot of us, all of us, most of us. And I would play this game whenever I had friends over before the pandemic, and the first party I had after the pandemic, I brought this thing back out, and it was basically just started off as little rolls of paper in a jar, and we just pick at random, and we played all night long, making up scrolls, putting it in the jar, and by the end of the night, we had laughed so hard that, you know, that kind of laughter that you can't breathe?
Yes.
And I decided that I needed to bring that to the world, because that's medicine.
We make Scented Adventure Dice by Baron Smellybones. Oh, my wife had a dream that she was playing D&D with Liam O'Brien, and he rolled low on his initiative and started playing with his dice, and he pulled out dice that smelled like vanilla and like strawberry and like chocolate, and she kept having this dream over and over again, and I just kind of dawned on me that I think I could actually make that happen. And so, I worked on it for a couple of years and finally found a formula where it kept beautiful dice that didn't kept their fragrance for years and years, and and made Baron Smellybones scented dice. He's a fine connoisseur of curiosities and delightful things, so of course he loves scented dice. Smells like the smoldering remains of your enemies.
Okay, I'm going to smell these quick. Hold on. Oh my gosh, how much are they?
20?
They're $20. Okay.
Yeah. And this one's another really popular one. This is called Nature's Embrace. It's like a deep forest smell.
Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and they're perfectly balanced dice, and they're basically like acrylic dice that can keep their fragrance for years and years. There's no like weird residue on them or anything like that. They're just beautiful little smelly dice.
My name is Lenny, and I'm the owner of 1985 Games. 1985 is the first year I played Dungeons & Dragons, which means I'm old. We are showing up a lot of different things. We make a lot of accessories for Dungeons & Dragons. We make 2D terrain sets. So we have 5 sets of 2D terrain. We have maps that go with it. We have players' journals. And then we have story building decks.
Nice, very good.
And then we also have some fun stuff like our VHS dice, which are hand-poured resin.
All right, so what gave you the idea for the VHS dice?
We really wanted to do something retro-themed that goes with our name, and Dungeons & Dragons accessories didn't necessarily fit into that, so we wanted to do something cool, and we've been watching a lot of videotapes. We do a kind of a mystery science theater type show called Video Quest, and we basically buy videotapes from Goodwill and then watch them, and then my business partner is 30 years younger than me, so we have a lot of fun.
Hi.
So this is something I've seen advertised quite a bit and have not seen it in person yet, but this is Dungeon Craft, which is 2D mat pieces. And you put it on a mat, it has different backdrops, and you can create your playing mat in real time. And I often say in my social media that I can't play with minis because I would spaz out and knock the terrain everywhere, but with this I might not be able to do it. I might have to rethink and play with minis at some point because the minis aren't as much as the houses. Kind of fun. Okay, and you are with
BRW Games.
And these are all your babies?
Yes, I've written everything you're seeing on the
So let's just do a pan here. Very good. So you've got the old school cardstock, not removable covers.
Right, unfortunately, it's all done print on demand, so...
That's my one knock with like the basic fantasy ones. I want the maps right there.
I actually did a Kickstarter of one of my modules that had the removable map.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I think that would be something that people just would geek out completely about.
Yeah, that was...
Are those your maps back there?
Those are my maps, yes. That is from Castle of Mad Archmage. This is a 13-level mega dungeon.
Holy crow.
That you get a separate map book, you get an illustration book, so you show your players this is what you see at different parts of the dungeon.
That's awesome.
It's in 1st edition or 5th, because a lot of people play 5th.
So is your target for your OSR games 1st edition AD&D?
Yes.
All right, but you can translate pretty easily to like BX for OSE or Basic Fantasy or anything like that?
Any kind of OSR game, as long as it's partway compatible with 1st,
You're good?
It'll work fine.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.